Health-wise, it sounds like you will probably get Lucius back. Is that accurate?
Yep.
Cruikshank,
Looking good.
any chance on Cruikshank?
No.
Okay. All right.
Saturday, do you think that was your most complete game of the season?
Pretty close. Pretty close. We came out and we just stayed, start to finish with 4 lines, just stayed strong. I was impressed with our guys, and that was all them. Like, they got burned a little bit Friday night, and I like that order, and it's coming back for sure.
Yeah, with those lineup changes, do you expect Chaz to break into the top 4, or do you expect him to be the extra skater, considering you like those lines that you set out?
We're working on it. I mean, we're working on it. He's a good player. We're working on it.
You joked on your radio show that you get to kick the trash can 3 times a year. Which one did you use it up this year? And then what's the challenge going forward not to kick it again?
Well, first, it's not a joke. I mean, it's literally like you get 3. I think you get. This old coach will say you get 3 times a year. If you do too many, it was Wisconsin. We used 1, and that's what I give our guys a lot of credit. Is this last weekend was them. Was black and white. Here's a couple of clips. Can't do that, and they respond.
So how do you challenge your team to not have to have that kind of thing on Friday morning, so you don't have to do it Saturday?
Well, when I was taking my coaching classes back in college, you really don't have an answer for that specific. It's been identified. And a lot of times it's not major. It's you're never as bad as you think you are when you're bad, and you're never quite as good as you think you are when you we had 2-0 lead and a 3-0 lead. There were things that happened in both games that characteristic. We identify it. They take ownership, and and let's get another 2-0 lead. Let's see if we can do it. Let's get another 3-0 lead. Let's see if we can do it. So it's a balancing act, and it's been happening on Fridays at home. One was on the road, but I don't have a specific answer for you, nor I don't think many coaches could give it, but there's a little pattern in there where we get loose, and that looseness has to come from within them to understand it, and then they come back Saturday, so maybe it takes getting burned a couple times, and we think we're doing some good things. We just want to stay this course and turn the screwdriver just a little bit on those Fridays. And
you mentioned guys who are taking ownership. Is there anyone in particular you notice who is kind of doing the right things and doing the right things? And
a lot of guys. We like our guys. The ownership group starts with leadership. First, Sammy and Benny and Jack and hey, a great example is Jack had a very uncharacteristic night, and then this guy wants me to pull him, and then he gets shut out the next day. You did bring it up.
I don't know that I advocated for it. I just asked if it was an option. Anyway,
that's leadership, and he came back, and just had a real good feel. Didn't let any, didn't have many shots, but didn't have many the night before either. Does that make that's leadership kind of going through the I think our D core that had kind of started the season a little loose, which that's one of the big things is they started loose or starting to tighten it up, and a lot without being just to talk about our captains, your freshmen just look at you like, what's he talking about? They're trying to figure it out, but
Yeah.
they're gaining confidence. Watch what they've been consistently finding the net now. Our freshmen now for a few weeks. They're 12 games in. They're starting to get traction, and so we're seeing some improvement, added offense from that group, which we needed to have. So,
Bob, it's a nice milestone for your equipment guy this weekend, 1,000 games, which is pretty rare. What does Lee mean to you and to your program?
well, I didn't know he was that old, to be honest. I thought he was a pretty young guy. So I have a little fun with him there. Lee is just a kind-hearted man, if you've been around him, and works extremely hard, and and I sure hope our guys treat him with ultimate respect, because he's earned it, and he just goes about his business, is just as efficient, as quiet as a guy that I've been around, and especially I can tell you the last 2 years with COVID, and last year he didn't have any help because no one else was allowed down here, and now he's getting a few student workers back in, and he's got 2 sports on his hands, and there are a lot of nights that Lee is here past midnight that people don't know. So I know we appreciate the heck out of what he does for us, and he's a good man.
COVID also has played havoc with the supply chains. Have you seen any of that? The struggles to get equipment in and things like that?
Not yet. I know when we got word of this in September, I haven't checked. I told Lee to get all our sticks in, because a lot of times you wait and get your order in later. And we were told in September that come December there's going to be problems. So whoever gave us that tip sounded like they knew it was coming. And right now we got everything in. I haven't heard anything.
Sure.
Well, actually, while you bring that up, I'll ask the question. We're not rationing sticks yet.
We're still working on one-timers in practice.
We're a third of the way into the season. Do you have a character sketch of what this team is like?
I think there are a couple things in play with us for this to keep to go where we want it to go. What you kind of saw Saturday, and you've seen out of us at Wisconsin, and you've seen it out of us even in a couple of our losses that were 2-1. We've been very stingy and efficient. And that part of our game is making some progress. The one that we knew we had to wait on was the offense. And we've been good offensively. And our power play finally, but once again, that's our third game with 1 power play, and was 1 for 1 was huge. But I have felt all along that it was going to take us maybe a half a year to get on real solid ground how we felt offensively. If it came quicker, great. But I just know how it works when you add young players in, and where was Nevers going to be from a year ago, and he's got off to the really good start. Like we had some things like that when you lose guys that were 39 goals in the bank. If they were back with us this year, they were going to get 39 goals. Rant and Reed, and McManus, they were going to be part of offense. We got a little waiting game as that goes around, and that's a lot of teams around the country do the same thing. And we keep playing those guys and putting. Then one thing you couldn't with us that has slowed us from that has been injuries. But I've been cautious, and I've told all of you, injuries hasn't been any reason for our play. We have guys that are stepping up for us, and that's what's been impressive of how we haven't missed a beat. But this is probably the most I've gone through since I've been here, being banged up and guys injured. And so I'll give our guys on a weekly basis great credit. We're battling right through it, not even phasing us, but it is hindering us. Guys being out of practice, we've got to shorten some practices. We think some guys have fallen off conditioning a little bit, because we only had 4D in practice yesterday. That's a little side thing that those things always pop up in sports teams.
How about off the ice? Character-wise, are they Is this a similar team to last year?
It's a little different because of the you know, the youth, you know. I mean, last year, Faber, Kester, and Nevers, 3 guys, you know, and it was, I'm missing any. Fish, you know. We have a dynamic change when you do it, when you kind of have that transformation in college sports, with, you know, I see how the old in with the new, and they're coming, you know, they're coming. And last year was so different because of COVID and the campus is empty. Guys were just happy to play. They didn't think they were going to play. And remember, we had weird games, and we were on the road for a week and a half, and
Tuesday nights.
you know, but we're back with crowds, we're back with people, and you know, we're settling in a little different this year. It's different, but I think because of everything's different this year.
You got Rem Pitlick for 1 season. I don't know how closely you follow the Wild, but got his first goal, and then he got his next 2 in the same game. You know.
That's pretty cool. And I talked about the radio show. You know, Rem was I was here 1 year. His first team All-American, and he had almost 50 points. And works out like he's as strong as a bull, and great work ethic off the ice, and could shoot a puck. And so what he did is not a surprise to us that have been around him. You know, what's big for Rem is get his 4th goal. Stay in the lineup. That'll be the biggest thing for Rem. And we're all cheering for him, and couldn't be happier for him and his family.
It's early in the week. Have you looked at the Lions at all, or is that be Penn State at all, or that come later in the week? When
I looked
at what Penn State will bring, or is
yeah.
that going to come later? But
we've been all over it.
what are you? Same drill with the Lions. A lot of offense and throwing the puck around like
They shoot from everywhere. They like to play with speed. They like to get up and down. They like to transition. They throw pucks into the neutral zone. If you relate it to football, they're Don Coryell. They're throwing that thing all over the ring. And you have to pay attention to it.
Yeah.
And you have to be ready for it, because it's different from what we see from a lot of teams.
Jack didn't see a lot of shots on Saturday, but he'll probably see a lot this weekend. What do you look for out of him and your defense as the thing to watch against Penn State?
Well, a lot of times with them, it's not the first shot, because it comes from everywhere. It's how you play off the second shot, and that you got guys back on rebounds, and because they chuck them from everywhere. And so a lot of those, you got to make sure you get sticks and they're not getting deflected and tipped. And then you got people cleared out for rebounds. And then for us, is keeping our hands on the puck. So yeah, it is a totally different style than what we saw with Ohio State. But
conversely, is hitting the net even more important against a team like Penn State? Because if you miss, it's going to come back on your goal.
Well, that's one of our bugaboos right now, is we've got to find ways to put more. I think that's the related thing with our team. I think we're always looking for the home run, and it gets us in, and if all of a sudden you've played a half a period and you don't have any points, we got guys that are going swinging at the fences. They got to settle in and play good percentage hockey, and that's what sometimes when we're missing the net, they're going for the big goal. And sometimes you just got to throw it off the pads. You got to create offense. You got to manufacture offense. You got to manufacture runs, and that's part that we're working on.
Do you like that about Perbix's goal? He put it on net,
Yeah.
5-hole instead of trying to pick a corner.
Yes, and he waited them out, saw the hole, and threw it in there. And then we had another great one where we did throw a few right in low on the pads, and we had rebounds. And it's just now you got to start seeing that film and go, one more stride in, you got yourself a rebound, a heck of a shot there. And we keep trying to morph into that.
Anything else, Coach?
All right, thank you guys.
Thanks, Bob.
You bet.
Team, you've got 5 losses and 4 of them have been in the opening game of a series. How do you attack that? How do you come out with more jump in the opener?
Yeah, I think it starts in practice. It starts on Monday through Thursday. So I think it's just showing up to the rink, ready to get better every day, and that'll translate to both games on the weekend. So.
I think Bob talked about having the older guys take ownership of the team, especially going from last Friday into last Saturday. What did you guys do as upperclassmen to get the message across?
Yeah, well, I think everybody in the room knew that, we can't play that way, and, there was just some urgency in the room to play well, and it was just pretty disappointing to see two very different teams from us, so, there wasn't too much specifically. We just felt like we lost focus for a period and let them back in the game, pretty much, so.
How hard is it to stay patient? And your coach has talked about, this team needs to play patient and have an honest hockey game and have success. How difficult is that, especially for young guys?
Yeah, I guess it's a tough question, but it's just something we got to focus on. Yeah, that's it, and it shouldn't be hard. We got to take what the coaches are telling us and implement it into the game. It's that simple. So it shouldn't be too hard, but we got to do a better job of it.
Ben, your coach mentioned how Saturday was closest to one of your guys' most complete games this season. How can you guys kind of replicate that success from Saturday into the rest of the season?
Yeah, we just got to realize the good things we were doing, and it's basically just the little things, getting pucks out of the zone, keeping the game simple, keeping the game in front of us, just back checking, and that's about it. Just realize what gave us that success.
You've seen plenty of Penn State over your years here, the way they throw the puck around. Is it like the circus is coming to town offensively when the Lions show up?
Yeah, you got to know their forwards are flying all over. So F3's got to be back and connected with our D, and that's going to be a big focus for us is to keep an eye on those forwards because they're flying around everywhere.
Bob shared you're finally 100% healthy. What's it like as a player kind of dealing through an injury and trying to decide if you're hurt or injured and trying to come back?
You just try not to focus on it because at the end of the day, you got to go out and play. So, everybody's banged up throughout the year, so it's just part of being a hockey player. So.
What's the routine like during the week when you're battling back from that?
It's not much. You just got to focus on playing hockey. You try not to think about it as much as possible. So.
Anything cool for birthday week? Did you do anything fun last night?
No, actually not much. Just hung out with my roommates. So, yeah.
Didn't get an ice cream cake or anything?
No, I did not.
Is there a special meal for you, or at least, or anything, or?
No, not really.
That's no fun. Ben, your coach talked about how the freshmen are, 12 games in now and are really starting to make an impact. What have you seen, and who are you most impressed by among the young guys as they kind of get used to college hockey here?
Yeah, well, I think Nyzy was bringing it right away. We could see that in practice, but I think Hughie's came a long way and is starting to play really, really well. So that's been awesome for us.
When you were a kid, I'm guessing it was a pretty cool deal to get a new hockey stick. What does Lee mean to your program and what he does with keeping you guys in gear and in sticks and all that?
Yeah, it's incredible. You see him here late nights, early mornings. So he's here so much and just helping us with everything we need. So we're very lucky to have him, and it's just awesome to see the work he does just for us. So it's amazing.
Anything else? Thank you, Ben.
Thanks, Ben.
Thank you, guys.
Rhett, just how much fun has the last month been for your family with you doing what you're doing and with your brother doing what he's doing?
Yeah, it's been a very special month. Obviously, my brother, he's with the Minnesota Wild, so it's amazing to have him back home. And the night that he had with the hat trick, I think that's just been a plus to it. But now that the whole family's in Minnesota, I think it really brings us together, and we're all thankful for that.
Rhett, Friday night, first career multi-point game. You just want to talk about your play recently?
Yeah. So this weekend, a couple assists. That was obviously a great feeling, but I gotta get, like I said before, I gotta give all the credit to my line mates. Some things just work out, and they buried the puck. So give the credit all of them.
Rhett, for whatever reason, your team has 5 losses, and 4 of them have been in the opening game of a series. You know, and it hasn't always been the same. Obviously, last Friday you had the big lead, and it kind of slipped away. I think of the game against Duluth where it seemed like they pounced right away. What do you do to kind of have more jump or kind of be more prepared for the first game of a series?
Mm-hmm. You know, I think we just take that as a learning experience, and I think by the end of the year we'll be much more dialed in, and we take that we got to have a full 60 game length of everyone working hard, making the simple plays and making the smart plays. So I think we just, you know, that's what happened, and we take it on, and we look into the future and in high hopes.
Kind of had a slower start to the season you were expecting with injuries. How have you tried to keep pace, and where do you feel like you're at right now in your season?
Right. Yeah, at the beginning of the season, hurt my shoulder, so it was obviously tough to get back in the team, but I think I'm feeling much more comfortable, getting used to the adjustment. But other than that, I think it's just, you know, coming to the rink every day, working hard, and bonding with the team and kind of becoming one.
Is there anything you did in particular to try to keep pace or, you know, catch up, or anyone you consulted with?
Yeah, Cal Dietz, he's a very intelligent man. Just doing workouts with him, and you know, I'd go on open ice, bag skate myself, just trying to keep the endurance and condition up. So that was about it for keeping myself in check.
Do you know Cal much before you got here because of Rem, or?
Not too much personally. I've heard stuff from Rem. Very, very smart man. So I'm thankful to have him part of this team and a part of my life and have that connection.
Rhett, it's every young hockey player's dream to get as many hockey sticks as you want. What does Lee mean to your team? What is it like having a guy like him, you know, supplying your equipment, and what does he do for your program?
Yeah, honestly, we probably take it for granted all the amazing things we have here. So just the ability to have the abundance of hockey sticks and equipment. I don't think we give enough credit to Lee for that. So I mean, having everything we want that's all you can ask for. So big thank you to him.
Is there any piece of gear in particular Lee steered you toward or suggested that you took advantage of?
Honestly, not too much that comes to mind with that question. Sorry.
Okay.
Who, your coach talked about the upperclassmen kind of leading the way and kind of righting the ship after games like Friday where it just kind of slips away for whatever reason. Who is the guy that stands up in the locker room and you know is the kind of the vocal presence among the upperclassmen on this team?
You know, it's tough to pinpoint one person. I would say it's all of our captains.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of collectively stand up together. So I wouldn't say one exact person, but our 3 captains are the main guys who we all look up to and do a great job leading all the younger guys.
During the game, is there anybody on the bench that you hear more than others, or?
Say Ben Meyers and Sammy Walker are the guys who keep all the freshmen and younger guys in check, if I had to say the 2.
Any messages resonate with you that you hear from them during the year?
Just always listen. They have more experience, so listen what they have to say. It's in our best interest. So.
Your coaches talked about the need for the whole team to have a little more patience, play a determined game. Where does that fit from what you have experience in playing? Do you feel like you've been patient, holding yourself back? Have you been too far ahead of the cart? Where are you on that?
I think patience is a huge thing. You kind of just letting things work itself out. But at the end of the day, it's about the team and allowing it to form to who we want to be at the end of the year, and that's a championship team. So I think everyone needs the patience to allow that to form.
Is it easy for you to be patient?
You know, obviously sometimes pretty tough to be patient. Like you want it now, but in the long run, I think being patient that's when it turns out the best.
You played Notre Dame, you played Ohio State. Both of them are pretty buttoned down, disciplined defensive teams. What have you heard about Penn State?
Yeah, we actually had a really good practice explaining kind of their systems, and I think they're a team that we really need to kind of lock down on what they do. They fly the zone, so we always got to keep in check with our defensive mentality, and I think they're a very fast team, so we got to always get back to pucks, play good defense.
Anything else?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rhett.
Appreciate it.